Hi guys, we are doing some trail loading today with my little friend here, Chomi. I wanted to talk a little bit about why we work with young horses, how much we work with young horses, and what we're trying to teach them. The purpose of working with these youngsters is first off to be able to care for them and see them into adulthood. If we start systematically applying the four core movements and good basic horsemanship skills to handling our youngsters, the result should be that by the time that they are grown enough to ride, they know everything that they need to know to get the job done. There's always some arguments about how much youngsters should be able to do and learning. I firmly believe that when you handle youngsters, you set them up for a much better life ahead of them. And I think horses at this age, she's somewhere around 8-9 months old. Horses around this age should be able to handle a vaccination. They should be able to have their feet done. They should be able to lead well. They should be able to load well. And they should be able to have all of the basic stuff done. No, they're not anywhere near ready to carry weight. They're not ready to do a ton of circles and a lot of fitness building. What we're working with is winning their hearts and having them become emotionally balanced. An emotionally balanced horse has a lot to offer. I think I see a lot of people breeding horses that don't spend a lot of time with their babies. And they sort of have these beautiful wild things running around in paddocks everywhere. But you can't get near them, they don't have any training, and then, we end up with, herds of, 3 and 4 year olds that have never been handled, that have never, had a vaccine, never had their feet done. And while I'm always grateful to have challenging work, the reality is leaving horses until they're older to start their training process is really a disservice to them, because horses' ideal learning time for the jobs that we want them for is between 2 and 5 years old. That's when their brains are flying. Now, horses are born as precocial species, meaning they are born knowing how to learn. And I believe that there's a lot of learning and development that happens in the womb. Once they're born, they need to be able to run from a predator and stick with their mom and follow a herd for miles and miles every day. So that says that their brain is pretty developed, meaning we can use that brain power to start teaching them to be good citizens. So the little things that I think a horse this age should be able to do is be able to, sweetie, to back up and get out of your space. I'm sure if you've handled youngsters before, having a baby crawl all over you is just as deadly as having a big horse crawl all over you. So being able to get them out of your space is important. I'm a firm believer that a disengagement fixes a whole lot, so I need to be able to move their hindquarters. Make sure I can get the kicking end away. Not a good girl. Be able to move the forequarters to get the biting end away. So those are just a couple of the basics that I think a youngster should be able to do. My friend Shomi, when we went and picked her up, she was barely halter trained. We pretty much halter trained her before we started box loading. Now, if a horse can lead well and a horse is halter trained well, a horse can load well. If a horse can load well, they can probably be ridden well. So these are little skills that, with just a few minutes a day with your youngsters, can make a lifetime of success for them. So this is going to be the third time that I'm putting Chomi in the horse box. And you'll see, because she's had a few weeks of consistent basics, talking 15-20 minutes a day and spending a lot of time hanging out and being cute with people. Okay, so I'm going to use the basics that we've taught Chomi to put her in the horse box. This will be her third time loading. And the thing is because she has had such a good start in her training with minimal handling, it's actually going to go really well. And it's going to be stress-free, because we don't want trail loading to be stress-free. I'm going to have her go stand in the box. I'm going to have her back out of the box sanely. Her mother's leaving us. So you guys can see what you can expect of a youngster. Okay, for little ones, I don't expect to send them in and have them self-load. And the reason why I don't do that with little ones right now, is basically most people in South Africa don't actually load their horses that way. And I also want to be able to have some control over her focus and sort of stay in her line of sight, stay there where I can be supportive and a bit of comforting to her. I will never put myself in a dangerous situation in the horse box, so when I'm leading them in, if things go wrong, I let the horse come out of the box. I've made sure that I'm not starting trailer loading with a horse who's sort of fractious and really worried, because that means neither one of us are going to be in a great position. So I started out with a really relaxed horse. Though she's young and she's sort of worried where her mother has left her, she's coping really quite well, so I feel safe to load. I'm going to let her have a little investigation here. She's allowed to look around. I don't need this to go fast. I need this to go well for her future. So now that she's in, the worst thing I can do is start panicking and running to get the other horse in. Remember, this is practicing for the rest of her life. She's on her way to another country, actually. So we need to make sure that all of her loading is going to go really, really well. So the time that I take to make her relaxed in here, the time that I take to allow her to see that this is a really good place, is setting her up for a great future.